You mentioned that you were in a lot of different government departments, so throughout your career.
Yeah, actually I started off as an inspector in the Central Excise and Customs, and then, which is now actually the GST department. I was mostly in that service, mostly in investigative work called the intelligence setup of the Central Excise, where we used to investigate a lot of cases. Having tasted first blood in there, I decided I need to upgrade in investigation. So I decided why not get into drug law enforcement. It's at that time that I thought that it's about time I moved to NCB, the Narcotics Control Bureau at Mumbai.
And this was in which year?
1986.
1986. So many of them probably were not even born back then.
Yeah. So out of a total service of 39 plus years, I had done around 19 to 20 years in drug law enforcement. So 20 years of mine was in the Central Excise, Marine Customs, and the remaining 20 was mostly in drug law enforcement.
And these are all like roles with a lot of investigations.
Basically, one would think that tax collection and everything is a very mediocre and mundane job, but it's not so, because it gives you an opportunity. An opportunity to these jobs has three great basic facets. First thing, you learn to assess. Secondly, you learn to adjudicate, means pass a judgment. And third thing is you learn to investigate. So unlike a police job, these jobs give you the avenues to do all these three things at one time. You understand? And you come out as a fully well-formed officer out of that.
So, when we all think about government jobs, right, especially in tax or anything to do with legal matters, it's too much of paperwork. Is that how the jobs are, or?
See, today the government has digitalized most of the work. So assessment work is totally digitalized. Adjudication work now is always there, because a lot of cases come up by adjudication. So therefore there will always be adjudication. But when we talk of investigations, yes, there's a work, but it is challenging for those youngsters who are out there who really are interested in investigating. I mean, like an investigator, one would think an investigator is somebody who is like a police officer who goes after criminals and, drug traffickers and terrorists and everything. But the real investigation also, so important, is financial investigation, because as you've seen lately, there are huge scams which are perpetrated in our country and across the world. And investigating those scams, the source of those starts either in income tax, Central Excise, or Customs. So that's where the real investigation starts. Then also a guy who's really investigated in making cases, investigating. I think these financial investigations are as important as any other criminal investigation. So it gives a huge opportunity for youngsters who have that adventure in them to go for these type of jobs.
So many a times when we look at, the youngsters look at the government jobs, they feel that at least the starting salaries or the salaries throughout their career is not going to be that great compared to a private sector.
I would not know the comparative rates. I mean, for a particular qualification, what would the private sector offer? But this I know about the government sector. There are two types of categories in government service. One is the ministerial cadre, which are mostly clerical cadre. And then there is the executive cadre. It starts with the level of an inspector upwards and goes right up to a commissioner, chief commissioner and all that. So when you join into in an executive the salaries are pretty good. And considering that you're in a government job, you're secure. Your life is secure. Nobody is going to throw you out unless you've done something wrong. And tomorrow when you retire, you have a very good pension. So excellent pensions are there. Yes, pensions are excellent, and they will last you for your lifetime. You have excellent medical benefits now. So from that perspective, a lot has changed in the government's salaries and other perks and everything. And every year the government does upgrade your salary with the DA and all, DA increases and all.
So this the exams, like all these different units that you mentioned, all of them have different kinds of exams which people are not aware of, or
See, for the central excise customs, I'm saying central excise, for GST, customs and income tax, there is a combined graduate level exam. You understand? And there are a lot of training centers across the country now who are training people in that. They have coaching classes for that, for coaching boys, because the exam is quite competitive. And there are a lot of guides available for youngsters to, in every government bookshop or publications you will get the best guides, and you should go through it, and if you do well, you're selected. And it is a little competitive. Then the next higher level that you can enter, there are two levels of entry. One is in the staff selection services, where you do the combined graduate level exam, and then one is the IAS and allied services. So that also is quite competitive. So for both you got to work hard, study, and you can get into a job. It's not so difficult as people think. And most of things are the exams are what you call objective type and all. There's no negative marking as far as I know.
so it could be probably easier than the CAT exams and all that people go after.
And apart from this combined graduate level exams, there are avenues like you can get into IB. There are Intelligence Bureau. They also put out advertisements. Then there is RAW, Research and Analysis Wing.
Right.
Now they will not advertise it as Research and Analysis Wing. They will just say Cabinet Secretariat posts.
Okay.
That's a cover for that, because that's a secret organization. So any advertisement coming for Cabinet Secretariat, then people should apply for that. Then there is the defense. I would say the defense today are in India's high tech, whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force or Coast Guard, it is high tech. Youngsters who have adventure in their hearts and all, and they really want, and great jobs, great work, great salaries, a lot of respect in the defense forces. Then there's the next level is the paramilitary forces. Now paramilitary forces comprise border security force, Indo-Tibetan Border Patrol, then you have CISF, CRPF. All these are excellent organizations, and then there is an unheard of, which very few people know about it. It's called the Sashastra Sena Bal, or SSB for short.
Right.
That is a counter-intelligence department that works only mostly in the border areas.
SSB. So that the name sounds like some kind of a political party.
Yes. But it is actually Sashastra Sena Bal.
So counter-intelligence at the border areas.
Counter-intelligence mostly in the border areas. So these are very challenging. Youngsters got adventure. Then these are the jobs for a youngster who seeks adventure in his life and satisfaction in having done something, for the country.
Right. So one of the things that, at least a lot of us have limited understanding of raw IB. In a sense, we look at it as a lot of action-oriented, dangerous kind of jobs. Is it like that, or?
Look, it is said that 100,000 soldiers who go to war, all don't die.
Mm-hmm.
Just a small percentage of them die.
Right.
You understand? And same way, the casualty is same for all jobs which have this risk. Like if you want to be an airline pilot or a steward or anything,
right,
that's risky also.
Right.
So risks are all over. You can walk on the road and get hit by a bus or a train or anything. So one should not look at the risk and get scared, because I believe that when your number's up and you got to go,
right,
you got to go. It does not mean whether you can run, but you can't hide. So this is life, and you got to accept, and with courage, join these forces. These are best organized. Don't look at the risk. Unless your numbers up, nothing's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So one other thing that, when people look at these kind of jobs, it means like you stay away from the family for a really long time because you're undercover or things like that. Is that?
See, it's like in the intelligence agencies and all, they are highly secretive jobs. Sometimes the families don't know also who they are also and what they do. So, and that's the truth. And that's good for the country and good for the agency also. But in an organization like Customs Excise, GST and all, and even NCB and all, the people know because these are open law enforcement jobs. They are not intelligence agencies. You understand? So you have to demarcate before the intelligence and law enforcement and tax departments.
So, and you also, you mentioned about ITBP, right?
Yeah.
That is the
Indo-Tibetan Border Patrol.
So in that, it's not only like Indo-Tibet, it's like...
These are paramilitary, they are top class commandos, one of the best in the world. You understand? And they are used mostly in the border areas. But the best of the best normally are posted in our foreign missions to guard the missions and everything. And a lot of them, I think, I have had a feedback that a lot of these people coming from such organizations are used, especially defense and paramilitary, are used as bodyguards today with the really powerful people, big business people and everything. So they can come on the job there, or they can, after the tenure is over, they can go private and join the security agencies. There's high-paying jobs.
Oh yeah, I understand. So, so the misconception like a lot of us had is this border security is only for the borders. So even for diplomatic missions and...
They pick up the best of the best of the... Because these people are highly trained. And a lot of the VIP security you see today along the central ministers and the prime ministers and all our... VIPs, they're mostly from these services. You'll see them there with suits and everything and earphones and everything and a bulge in their coat and everything. Those are all mostly come from the defense or from such paramilitary organizations.